It's the activated new bright 10 and Futurtarian. First and foremost, I'm going to say peace, power, and soul. This video is going to be on being overcarbonated. This video is on being overcarbonated. This video is on being overcarbonated. See, when you're dealing with these people and they're overcarbonated, right? And then when they say that one term, remember that term they say, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. That was on a physical aspect. That wasn't on a mental aspect. That had nothing to do with the mental acceleration going past people and moving stuff forward. It's the mental acceleration. Now, a lot of people ain't gonna like this video because their mind is so stuck. If you go back and you look at the Egyptians when they was running the planet, you look at the Egyptians. What was they? They had a carbonated balance. They had a carbonated balance in their system. They had a carbonated balance in their skin coat. It was a balance because you could be overcarbonated, and when you're overcarbonated, what happens? This is what happens when you're overcarbonated. When you're overcarbonated, when people hear you talk, they're either going to agree, disagree, or be at a stalemate. That's the only three things that can happen. But they're all going to understand what you're saying, and they're all going to be connected to that. See, when you're overcarbonated, you use your emotions, you use non-logical thinking, and you go by what you feel is right to move somebody forward that has nothing to do with you. That's being overcarbonated, aka overmelanated. Being overmelanated. Yeah, a lot of people, I'm gonna use the Africans as an example, dealing with the Africans. Right? When you go to Africa, now a lot of y'all people that went to Africa, you went to Africa and you was dealing with some of the brothers and sisters over there that were overcarbonated, right? They didn't have no real intel. They didn't have no real intel. What do I mean by that, New Brighton? The reason why I say that is because they'll go over there and talk about everything. You go over there and you talk to them, they're talking about everything else that's within their own mind spectrum, right? But they're not bringing nothing that is futuristic, no intel, no nothing. Why is that? But see, when you're dealing with somebody who has a balance in carbon, see, this is intel. It's for you teachers out there. A balance in carbon, what's that? That balance in carbon is going to bring the balance to your mind where you can balance everything out. Mentally, physically, soulfully, you can balance everything out because you have a carbon balance. You're not overcarbonated. Go back and look at these teachers that are all overcarbonated. That's why I say a lot of people ain't going to like this video, but shit, the timelines, look at the timelines, add up the timelines. Look at what they've been through, all these overcarbon beings. They can't see. That's why they can't. Shout out to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad because he had a balance in carbon. That's why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad could build. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad could build the way he built because he had a balance in his carbon, and he understood that he couldn't do it by himself. That's why he got over what was it? Allegedly over 80,000 followers nationwide, worldwide. Honorable Elijah Muhammad did it. And Dr. Malachi Z. York. That's why Dr. Malachi Z. York came out with the Z. He was the first one to come out with the Z. And you got teachers trying to represent the Z and act like they ain't get that from Dr. Malachi Z. York. But this video right here is about being overcarbonated. See, when you're overcarbonated, you get into your mental complex. You don't want to work with nobody. You in your own little zone, you're in your own little, that's fine. Do what you want to do, but that don't last long. Being overcarbonated don't last long when you're dealing with mental mind power, when you're dealing about moving with intel, coming with something next. Ain't nobody ever talked about no video talking about being overcarbonated. Coming over here messing with a Futurtarian, you're gonna lose every rep. That's why I got my phone. I got two phones, right? I got 2 phones. I got ammo. I got videos. Ammo of videos. Straight ammo. I'm not talking about guns. This is a drone strike. Forget the guns. This is a drone strike. Ammo of videos. Because it's about timing. Because I already know how people think. When you activate it, you know how they think. And you know their timing is going to be selective. It's going to be here and there, here and there. That's why I don't drop everything in one shot. Because I know it's about timing. Now I'm going to give you an example about being overcarbonated. See, when you're overcarbonated, when you're dealing with the Goldilocks zone, right? You have the Goldilocks zone within a solar system. What is the Goldilocks zone? The Goldilocks zone is the zone where life can thrive. So when these scientists and all that stuff, they're looking at the Goldilocks zone and they're seeing if there's a planet in the Goldilocks zone that has what? Balance. Balance of what? Carbon and plasma. You can't have life without balance. That's why I'm telling you, these teachers that's out here and they're overcarbonated, they don't have no balance. They can't balance a situation. They can't balance a situation. It's always been about balance in the universe. That's how you get life. That's how you can move forward. Being overcarbonated. Yes, it's possible. Go back and look at all these teachers that are so-called dark melanated, right? And then go back and look at their track history and all this stuff and how they emotional, how they talking about the white man, how they talking about so-called black people, this and that, but don't want to work together. Don't want to work together. You know why? Because they got an ego complex. Their ego's too high. Always been about a council. Ain't never been about one individual. Please, that shit never work. Go back and look at that movie. Go back and look at that movie. The movie 300. The second 300. It was the 300 of the Rising. But now I'm not talking about the one where the king got killed in Greece. The second one. What happened in that movie? Right? Xerxes, when he got reincarnated into a god, when he got resurrected into a god, what he do? He went back to purify his council. What he do? He killed the whole council, right? But what did Greece do? What did Greece and the Spartans do? They argued, but they saved their council. And who won at the end of that? The ones who saved their council. Come over here fucking with a Futurtarian, nigga. You gonna lose every goddamn time. Overcarbonated ass nigga. Walking around playing Frogger and shit. Being overcarbonated. That movie's showing you that it's about the council and not about one individual. Even the queen was, where'd the queen go? The queen went to the council. The queen went to the council. Went straight to the council. That's what they showed you in the movie. And what happened? What happened to Persia? Persia failed. You know why they failed? Because Xerxes killed his council off. That's where he failed at. Just like these teachers right now, that's where they fail at. And that's what they're falling at. Yeah, being overcarbonated. Because when you're overcarbonated, it's just like when the sun gets too hot. What happens when the sun gets too hot? The water evaporates. The sun, the earth, it'll go into the solar stage. Everything gets wiped out because it's too much. See, when you have too much, that's not a balance. It's not a balance in the universe. Being overcarbonated. That's why the sun, they call it the Goldilocks zone, because it's in the Goldilocks zone for a reason, because it's a balance of solar energy. Because when you have too little, doesn't work. When you have too much, it doesn't work. When you have a balance, dealing with somebody who's a golden being that got golden skin, it ain't too dark, it ain't too light, that's the balance. That's why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he could grow his stuff like that, because he had a balance of carbon. It's the activated new bright 10, the Futurtarian. Peace, Quazah. If you like the way the world is, don't like, don't share, don't subscribe. But if you want it to alter, move at the speed of light.